The good old days. 9. Language focus expressing habit. Vocabulary homonyms and homophones. Everyday English moans and groans. Reading living in the past. Listening a teacher to remember. Writing for talking. Nostalgia isn't what it used to be. Peter de Vries. 1. When did phones look like this? How did you dial the number? How does it compare with making a call today? 2. Read the quote. What is the joke? Is nostalgia a good or a bad thing? What do you feel nostalgic about? Question mark. Watch the video introduction. Use your workbook. Go online for more practice. For self-study. And to check your progress. Language focus expressing habit. Test your grammar. 1. Match a line in A to a line in B. Alpha. 1. When we were little we. 2. A good friend. 3. My sister's in love, she. 4. I love my job, but I. 5. Bill is so self-centered, he. 6. In Victorian times, men. B. Will never let you down. Spends hours gazing at Dan's photo. Is always talking about himself. Can't get used to working night shifts. Used to wear top hats. Used to be best friends. Underline the words that express habit. Which are past and which present. 2. Choose the correct ending for these sentences. He used to work hard, he's used to working hard. Because he's a builder. But now he's retired. EDELLAND. Friends forever. 1. How do you keep in touch with friends? How can you get back in touch if you've lost touch? Have you ever got back in touch with an old friend? 2. Read quickly through Nikki's email. Who is it to? Why is she writing? 3. Complete the email with phrases. A1. A meetup. Big O cycling. G. Get used to calling. H. Loved. C. Were always giggling. I'd argue. D. Would go. J. Used to listen. E. Painted. F. Used to sit. K. Always arrive. 1. Would never wear. 9.1 Listen and check. Who are the 4 friends? What do you learn about their lives now? 4. Match lines in A and B. Practice saying them. Pay attention to contracted forms and weak forms. A. 1. We used to sit. 2. We were always giggling. 3. We'd go back. 4. We'd go cycling. 5. I can't get used to calling. 6. She'll always arrive. 9.2 Listen and check. B. Round town. You Anastasia. Late. And whispering. To your house. Next to each other. 2. Anastasia. Peabody at Smalltalk. Co. UK. Subject. Memories of Ash House School. Hi Tazy. Opening parenthesis. Anastasia. Closing parenthesis. It's great to be in touch again. The wonder of social media, sometimes. How could anybody forget a name like yours? Crazy Tazy Jones. And now you're a Peabody. You and I were friends from the start. We. Next to each other in class, but then the teachers made us sit apart, because we and whispering. Back to your house after. To the. Do you remember how we 3 school and listened to music for hours on end? CDs in those days. We both Oasis, but we endlessly about who was better, Liam or Noel. Oh, and we also Spice Girls, but in secret, because they were so uncool. Then there was that time we, your bike bright pink. Then we round town on it, and we helmets. Your dad was furious, but we didn't care. 10. Hour. With Polly and Tina from time to time. They're both married with kids, and, like us, balancing work and home life. Polly's the same as ever, a rotten timekeeper, she. Rush in, full of apologies. Latent. It'd be so great if you could join us. In the meantime, keep on keeping in touch. It's great to catch up. Love. Nikki. P.S. I can't 12. You Anastasia Peabody. To me, you'll always be Crazy Tazy Jones. K. Sue. Language focus. 1. Look at the sentences that express present habit. My grandpa loves gardening. B. He's always trying to get me to help and I don't want to. C. He'll go out into the garden early in the morning and won't come in until dusk. Which sentence expresses ... Question mark. 1. My attitude to this habit of his. I find it annoying. Closing parenthesis. 2. A simple fact about him. 3. Characteristic behavior. This is typical of him. Closing parenthesis. 2. Put sentences AC into the past. Express sentencer in 2 ways. 3. Look at the sentences. I used to live in Rome, but now I live in Paris. B. I didn't used to like French cheese, but now I love it. C. I've lived near the airport for years, so I'm used to the noise. D. I'm getting used to traveling on the metro. Which sentence? S. Express. ... Question mark. Black circle a past state, habit now finished. Black circle a situation which is familiar and no longer strange. Black circle a situation which is still strange, but becoming easier. Grammar reference 9.1. Practice. Characteristic behavior. P 161 to 162. 1. What adjective describes someone like this? Choose from the box. Easy-going, clumsy. Mean. Stubborn, argumentative, sensitive. Absent-minded. Sensible. 1. He's always losing things or forgetting where he's put things. 2. She'll always cry at the end of a sad film. 3. Nothing ever upsets her or annoys her or worries her. 4. I'm always dropping things or bumping into things. 5. She's ruled by her head, not her heart. She'll always think carefully before she acts. 6. He just won't listen to anyone else's suggestions. 7. I remember that bloke Dave. He'd never buy you a drink. 8. And he'd pick a fight with anyone about anything. 2. Add similar sentences to support these statements. 1. My flatmate is the untidiest person in the whole world. She's always leaving her things around the place. 2. My boyfriend is insanely jealous. 3. Freddie is just the coolest guy the first know. 4. My dog Bruno was my best friend. 5. Your problem is you're self-obsessed. 6. My mum really gets on my nerves. 7. But my grandma was so sweet. 8. My grandpa hated all modern technology. 9.3 Listen and compare. Discussing grammar. 3. Work with a partner. Decide which sentence in B best continues the sentence in A. 1. My friend Joe buys and sells cars. 2. He's always buying new things for himself, the latest iPhone or smartwatch. 3. He'll buy an expensive shirt and only wear it once. 4. John usually does the cooking. 5. He's used to doing the cooking. 6. Dave used to do the cooking. 7. Mike's getting used to doing the cooking. 8. When I was young, we used to have holidays by the seaside. 9. My dad and I would go rock climbing and I'd go swimming with my mum. 10. One year we went to America. Used to and would. 4. Read when I was a boy, and note the verbs in italics. They're all in the past simple. Which are state verbs? Which are action verbs? 5. With your partner decide which verbs. ... Question mark. 1. Can take would or used to. 2. Can take only used to not would. 3. Must stay in the past simple. 9.4 Discuss how to rewrite the text to make it sound more nostalgic, then listen and compare. Used to do, used to doing. 6. Answer the questions with a form of used to do. B. Get used to doing, shush, south. 1A. You don't like your new teacher, do you? B. Not a lot, but we're getting used to her. 2A. How can you get up at 5 o'clock every morning? B. No problem. It now. 3A. How come you know New York so well? B. Live there. 4A. How are you finding your new job? B. Difficult, but 5A. Do you still have any CDs? B. No, it bit by bit. Have loads, but not anymore. But now we're really close. 6a, do you get on well with your sister? B, well, we. 7a, you two argue so much. How can you live together? B, after 20 years we. Each other. 9.5, listen and check. What else does B say? Practice with your partner. B, he's a real techno geek. Don't you think that's wasteful of him? He earns loads of money. Because he's been doing it for years. But he isn't tonight. I am. But then he stopped. But he still burns things sometimes. What an adventure that was. We'd go to the same place year after year. I remember those days with such fondness. When I was a boy. When I was a boy, we lived in a village, in the heart of the countryside, and I liked going for long walks, especially on summer mornings. I got up early in the morning without waking my parents. We had a dog called Bob, and he and I crept out of the house and down the lane. Bob and I climbed the hills together while the rest of the world was sleeping. Once I walked for nearly 20 miles and my parents got very worried. I loved those days, so innocent, so carefree. I went back there last year, but it wasn't the same. Listening, me and my parents. 7, work with a partner. Look at the photos of the families. Which decade do you think each is? How old are these children now? What do you think the relationships between the children and parents were like? 89.6, listen to 4 people talking about their relationship with their parents. Who had a good relationship? Who didn't? Why? 99.6, these lines are similar to what the people said. Which lines can be expressed in a different way? Which can't? Listen again. What are the people's actual words? 1, Catherine. We did a lot together as a family. We used to go on walks and have picnics. Once he bought me a necklace with a heart. Just cheap, but I loved it. My mother said he was spoiling us. 2, Michael. My dad drove me mad. Black circle, he kept telling me to get my hair cut. 1, 2. Black circle, she used to get angry when I picked up food. When I was 16, I suddenly shot up. I'm 6 feet 5 feet now. 3, Johnny. My mum always nagged me. She used to tell me to get off my computer. She was all put out when I used to shut myself away in my room. We didn't used to talk much in our family. My wife always asks me about my childhood. 4, Gillian. Black circle, I told her everything, well, nearly everything. She talked to me very openly. Black circle, my dad left when I was 3. We used to go out shopping. Talking about you. 10, talk to your partner about your parents and your family life, past and present. Writing P139, writing for talking, an early memory. Reading and speaking, living in the past. 1, what do you know about the time when your grandparents and great-grandparents were young? When was it? What were their houses like? What did they do for entertainment? 2, look at the photos. What things can you find that are typical of the 19th century and the 1950s? 3, work in 2 groups. Group A. Read about Peter Saunders. Group B. Read about Joanne Massey. Answer the questions. 1, which era is she obsessed by? What started the obsession? 2, what does he wear? 3, how does she source the things for the house? 4, what does he not like about modern life? 5, what does she like about the bygone era? 6, which mod cons do they have in their houses? Where do they keep them? 7, how do they entertain friends? 8, what do other people think of their lifestyle? 9, what do you learn about other members of the family? 4, work with a student from the other group. Use the questions to tell each other about your person. 5, with your partner, try to guess the meaning of the highlighted words in your text. What do you think? Why do some people like the idea of past times so much? Which past era would you like to live in, or do you prefer life today? Gillian. Black circle. I told her everything, well, nearly everything. She talked to me very openly. Black circle. My dad left when I was 3. We used to go out shopping. Talking about you. 10. Talk to your partner about your parents and your family life, past and present. Writing. P139. Writing for talking, an early memory. Reading and speaking. Living in the past. 1. What do you know about the time when your grandparents and great-grandparents were young? When was it? What were their houses like? What did they do for entertainment? 2. Look at the photos. What things can you find that are typical of the 19th century and the 1950s? 3. Work in 2 groups. Group A. Read about Peter Saunders. Group B. Read about Joanne Massey. Answer the questions. 1. Which era is she obsessed by? What started the obsession? 2. What does he wear? 3. How does she source the things for the house? 4. What does he not like about modern life? 5. What does she like about the bygone era? 6. Which mod cons do they have in their houses? Where do they keep them? 7. How do they entertain friends? 8. What do other people think of their lifestyle? 9. What do you learn about other members of the family? 4. Work with a student from the other group. Use the questions to tell each other about your person. 5. With your partner, try to guess the meaning of the highlighted words in your text. What do you think? Why do some people like the idea of past times so much? Which past era would you like to live in, or do you prefer life today? Which mod cons would you miss? What is your opinion of Peter's and Joanne's lifestyles? Which do you prefer? What do you not like about them? Project. Choose a pastime which interests you. Research it and present your findings to the class. The 21st century man. Who lives in Victorian times. Peter Saunders is a council worker from Nottingham. He's just 35 years old, but he is a huge fan of all things Victorian. He has spent £1,000 turning his house into a late 1800s haven. Peter takes Victorian life very seriously, even down to wearing a waistcoat and flat cap. Every item in his cottage is 100% authentic. There is no factory-produced furniture. Everything from the toilet to the tins in his pantry have been lovingly hand-picked from car boot sales, antique fairs and eBay auctions. A portrait of Queen Victoria hangs proudly above the sitting room fireplace. The 21st century woman who lives in the 1950s. Joanne Massey, 40, lives in a recreation of a 1950s home in Stafford with her husband Kevin, 47, who is a graphic designer. Watch a video about a living history museum and learn about how people lived in Victorian times. Peter's 4-bedroom house now looks much like it used to look when a real-life Victorian family lived there, and Peter is considering opening its doors to the public. He says, "I've gone to a lot of trouble and I would like to share it with people who will appreciate it." The Victorian period was a fascinating time. Both my mum and my sister are interested in it, too, so I guess my passion for it started from them. My mum is always picking things up for me from car boot sales. I like the idea of the lifestyle that the Victorians had. They would entertain themselves. They used to love a sing-song round the piano. And they were. Peter uses all the original cooking features in his kitchen, but admits to having a microwave oven. He also has a television, central heating and a fridge freezer, but he says, "All my mod cons are cleverly hidden around the house in cupboards or behind curtains. And I have running water, as most Victorians had, but they didn't have hot water like I do." Single quote. The house has an outside loo, which Peter is restoring. But I also have a Victorian-style indoor bathroom with antique fittings. So I suppose I have the best of both worlds, all the modern conveniences but with the romantic and quaint feel of the Victorian period, and it's very cozy. The Victorians were all about comfort. Single quote. Less wasteful than we are today. Things experts agree with Peter that the house were built to last. I can't stand all that modern stuff made of plastic that all looks the same. Most of my friends are very supportive and they love coming round for dinner parties when all the old glasses and cutlery comes out. Single quote. Genuinely reflects Victorian times. Hilary Sylvester, chairman of Nottingham Civic Society, said, "Peter's done it extremely well. It's not twee in any way and has been restored in such a genuine fashion." Single quote. Joanne is a housewife. She says, "I love nothing better than fastening my pinny round my waist and baking a cake for Kevin in my 1950s kitchen. I put on some lovely Frank Sinatra music and am completely lost in my own little fantasy world. In our marriage, I am very much a lady and Kevin is the breadwinner. We've been married for 13 years and we're extremely happy because we both know our roles. I make sure our home is immaculate, there is dinner on the table, and I look pretty to welcome my husband home." Single quote. Joanne doesn't even put petrol in their Ford Anglia car, which is 43 years old, because she thinks that is unladylike. She asks Kevin to do it. She only ever wears 1950s clothing, such as tight pencil skirts, a white blouse and a wide belt. Her furniture is all from the 50s. The kitchen is an original, English rose design, which used to be very much the in thing. They advertised for it in an antiques magazine and bought it from a family in Scotland who had it in their garage to keep tools in. Joanne thinks modern life is too hectic. Shopping in supermarkets is an ordeal, and she doesn't read newspapers, they are just too distressing. She says, "We do have a television set, but we hide it in a retro cabinet. Neither of us drinks and our social life revolves around visiting like-minded friends for tea and cakes." Single quote. Her obsession began as a teenager. She loved old movies because they seemed to represent a halcyon time, when women were more feminine and men more protective. She could have gone to university, but chose to work in a bank. She says, "I was marking time until I met the right man. Kevin and I met at a 50s convention, and we had an old-fashioned courtship before he proposed. I was ecstatic, because I had found someone with the same passion. Some women I meet ask me if I feel patronized by spending all my time caring for Kevin, but never would." Single quote. At work, Kevin gets teased because he's the only one with homemade cakes and even homemade jam in his sandwiches. Joanne thinks his colleagues are jealous that he has a wife who devotes herself solely to his happiness. How many men these days can really say that? Listening and speaking. A teacher to remember. One look at the photos. What are modern classrooms like? What were classrooms like years ago? How have teaching styles changed? Die. Bell root. Der Keim bricht durch die. Du seist erster Bur. 29.8 Listen to four people, Sean, Samantha, Rupert and Charlotte, talking about a teacher they remember well. Answer these questions after each one. 1. What was the teacher's subject? 2. What did he look like? 3. What is said about the age of the teacher? 4. Why is he so memorable? Is it for positive or negative reasons? 5. Did she influence the speaker in any way? If so, how? 39.8 Listen again. Which teacher? Poked students? With what? Why? Black circle taught 3 subjects. What were they? Black circle had to crouch. Where? Why? Black circle had a mission in life. What was this? Black circle slammed something down on the desk. What? Why? Black circle had a razor-sharp wit. What was hidden in his words? Black circle glowed with gratitude. Why? Black circle gave crystal clear explanations. About what? What do you think? Work in small groups. What makes a teacher memorable? Think of positive, negative, and funny reasons. Who is a teacher you'll never forget? Why? What is she, he like? Spoken English adjective intensifiers. 1. Look at these lines from what the people said. Which words intensify the adjective? He used to make these dead languages seem dead easy. He had a razor-sharp wit. 2. Complete the sentences with a word from the box. Brand stiff freezing tiny wide great boiling fast. 1. They live in this. 2. I made one. Big house in the center of London. Little mistake in my driving test, but I still failed. Hot. Don't scald yourself. Cold in here. Can't we put on the heating? 3. Careful with the soup. It's. 4. It's. 5. Do you like my car? It's new. 6. Don't worry. You won't wake the children. They're 7. I have a cold shower every morning, then I feel 8. I'm fed up with this lesson. Me, too. I'm bored. 3. Find more examples in AudioScript 9.8 on pages 148 and 149. Asleep. Awake. Vocabulary. Homonyms and homophones. 1. Work on your own. What do these words mean? Write fine mean. Fan glasses park. 29.9 Listen and write down the words you hear. 3. Work with a partner. Compare your answers to 1 and 2. Do you have any differences? What are they? Homonyms. 4. Homonyms are words with the same spelling and more than one meaning. A bank in the high street. The bank of a river. Don't bank on my support forever. Complete the pairs of sentences with the same word used twice. 1. Grandma's leaving now. Come and goodbye. He was swept out to sea by a freak. But he survived. 2. Oh dear. We have a spare wheel. I'm renting a. 3. What's today's? I've got a with Carl. Tire and no. Near where I work. Underscore. The 3rd. Tonight. I'm going out. 4. He goes to the gym every day. He's very. The trousers are too small. They don't you at all. 5. It's not. Everyone else is allowed to stay out till midnight. She has beautiful hair and blue eyes. 9.10 Listen and check. 5. Think of 2 meanings for these words. Make sentences using them. Suit mistyped kind point train cool. Homophones. 6. Homophones are words with the same pronunciation, but different spellings and different meanings. Roud. It's the road to Oxford. I rode across the river. Write the word in phonetics in the correct spelling. 1. Hool. The. 2. Pie. S. A. 3 feet Flav. R. A rose is a. 4. Sales. 5. Sell. World of cake. A underscore blank in the ground warrant. To make bread. A yacht has shops. Buy clothes in the. Things. A prisoner lives in a. 7. Think of a word with the same pronunciation but a different spelling for these words. Board caught higher pair made plain waste allowed right seas. Children's jokes. 89.11 A lot of children's jokes are made with homonyms and homophones. Read and listen to some. After each one say which words make the joke. 1. Why will you never starve in the desert? Dot. 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 Because of the sand which is there. 2. Why is Sunday the strongest day? Dot. 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 Because the others are weekdays. 3A, your battery's flat. That's why your car won't start. B, oh dear. What shape should it be? 4A, waiter. What's wrong with this egg? B, don't ask me, sir. I only laid the table. 5A, what do you get when 5,000 strawberries try to go through a door at the same time? B, don't know. What do you get? A strawberry jam. 6A, waiter, this food tastes funny. B, so, why aren't you laughing? 7, what do you give to a sick lemon? Dot, dot, dot. Lemonade. 8, what did one toilet say to the other? Dot, dot, dot. You look a bit flushed. 9, why can't Cinderella play soccer? Dot, dot, dot. Because she's always running away from the ball. Go online for more vocabulary practice. Everyday English. Moans and groans. 1, read the complaints in A. Match them to a response in B. Which of the items in the box do they refer to? A leather jacket, texting, boots, ordering by phone, a bookcase, an exam, a TV series, a dishwasher. A. B. 1, I could kick myself. As soon as I'd handed it in, I remembered what the answer was. 2, I went away to think about it, and when I went back it had been sold. I'm gutted. I should have bought it there and then. 3, I don't believe it. All I get is, message failed to send. Try again. So, I try again and guess what? 4, these instructions don't make any sense to me at all. If you can follow them, you're a genius. 5, it's not fair. I'd been looking forward to curling up with a box set and then my phone goes and rings. 6, how many times do I have to tell you? Take 'em off before you come into the house. 7, this is beyond a joke. You promised you'd deliver it Tuesday at the latest. Now you're saying next month. 8, what a waste of time. 10 minutes listening to ghastly music, punctuated by all our lines are busy. Thank you for waiting. 29.12, listen and check your answers. Read 'em aloud with a partner. 3, read this conversation with your partner. Then choose 2 more conversations from one and continue them. A, I could kick myself. As soon as I'd handed it in, I remembered what the answer was. B, that's always so annoying. But do you think you've still passed? Who knows? I always get so nervous taking exams. B, I'm the same. I never do myself justice. No joy. What a pain. Why don't you try phoning 'em instead? B, give me a break. I was in a hurry. Anyway, they're only a bit muddy. C, I'm awfully sorry, sir. I'm afraid there's nothing I can do about it. It's out of my hands. D, I know, it drives me mad. But worse is when they say, this call is important to us, when it obviously isn't. E, that's always so annoying. But do you think you've still passed? F, that's a shame. Didn't you ask if they had another one in stock? G, well, don't ask me. This flat pack stuff is a nightmare. I had the same trouble with a coffee table. H, you didn't have to answer it. Who was it? Anyone interesting? 4, what are some of the events in a typical day in your life? For each event, think of something to moan about. Take it in turns to moan through the day with your partner. I don't believe it. I forgot to set my alarm again, so I overslept and I was late for work. What a pain. 5, do you have any moans and groans about anything that is happening at the moment in your country or in the world? Discuss as a class. Go online for more speaking practice.